What do you want? The customer's coming in. What do you want me to tell him? What do you want me to do?
We'll think about that tomorrow. Fiddle-dee-dee.
All in the Family and Alice will not be seen tonight. Watch them next week at the regularly scheduled times.
Greatest motion picture of all time, Gone with the Wind. Starring Clark Gable as Rhett Butler.
I'm saying very plainly that the Yankees are better equipped than we. They've got factories, shipyards, coal mines, and a fleet to bottle up our harbors and starve us to death. All we've got is cotton and slaves and arrogance.
God is my witness, then.
Vivian Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara.
I'm going to live through this, and when it's all over, I'll never be hungry again.
Leslie Howard as Ashley Wilkes.
I saw men crumple up in agony when I shot them.
Olivia de Havilland as Melanie.
Scarlett, you killed him.
Against the backdrop of the South, ravaged by civil war, is set one of the screen's most unforgettable love stories. Margaret Mitchell's epic novel is translated to the screen in all its grandeur, all its glory. The most magnificent motion picture ever filmed.
You go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winner of 10 Academy Awards, Gone with the Wind.
This portion of Gone with the Wind sponsored by Polaroid, inventors of instant pictures, and now instant movies.
Polaroid's One Step is the world's simplest camera, and the pictures can really take a beating, even from sunlight or water.
How about snake bite?
I just press the button, out comes the picture, and I accidentally drop it into my goldfish bowl.
People are always doing that.
The sharp, clear colors still develop in minutes right down there with the fish. Then just wipe it off, and it's as good as new.
Pretty. This is like bobbing for apples.
Get the One Step.
You are looking at a very special place, the Bell Systems Network Operations Center in Bedminster, New Jersey. Here's where we watch the flow of nearly 40 million long-distance calls a day. If a bottleneck does develop, computer technology helps us reroute the traffic and get your call through.
Take your St. Louis traffic via Sacramento.
The Network Operations Center, helping to get your long-distance calls through quickly and easily.
The Bell System, keeping your communication system the best in the world.
When I press this button, a new era in photography begins. Polaroid introduces Sonar Automatic Focusing. This camera sends out inaudible sound waves that bounce off the subject and return in a split second. The lens automatically rotates to perfect focus. You can get a precisely focused picture every time in minutes at the touch of one button. The new Sonar One Steps from Polaroid, the world's simplest camera.
The Glad 2-ply trash bag. One strong outer layer, one strong inner layer, bonded together like a bag in a bag. 2 mil thick, strong, puncture resistant.
Pack up your troubles in a Glad trash bag and smile, smile, smile.
The Glad 2-ply trash bag, like a bag in a bag.
At Whirlpool, we know how you feel about fingerprints.
We'll need lots of lemons.
That's why we gave you a refrigerator with textured steel doors that help hide fingerprints.
Okay.
Now you can get the same no fingerprint doors on every kind of refrigerator Whirlpool makes.
Let's go to my house.
And Whirlpool makes more kinds of refrigerators than anyone.
Lemonade and charge a dime.
Now there's no fingerprints for everyone.
At Whirlpool, quality is our way of life.
One of the worst kinds of congestion is sinus congestion, so the makers of Neosenaphrin made something to take care of that problem. Something so effective it starts to open blocked sinuses fast and keeps them open up to 2.5 times longer than ordinary sprays. New Neosenaphrin 2. Used as directed, it's so effective. Just a couple of sprays in each nostril helps relieve your sinus congestion just about all night or all day. New Neosenaphrin 2. Long-lasting relief from sinus congestion.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable.
It's your way of looking good.
Avon.
It's your way of feeling like you should.
Avon.
Part of your spirit, right for your style. So good you can feel it. It shows in your smile. It's your way of looking good. 1-to-1 feeling like you should. It's your way, Avon. And you never look so good. Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day isn't very far away, and Hallmark Valentines give you so many ways to express your love, to show how much you care. Remember your special Valentine with a card from Hallmark.
Valentine's Day.
Hallmark, when you care enough to send the very best.
Some car manufacturers show you how their car handles the round pylon. We want you to see how a Honda handles the round pothole. You see, all our Hondas are made with front-wheel drive, McPherson strut front suspension, and have power front disc brakes. And after all, when was the last time you had to avoid a pylon?
Honda, we make it simple.
Guess whose story just made page 1?
Whose?
Yours.
Ooh, it was good. I didn't expect front page. Let me buy a beer.
Michaloe Light.
Michelob makes a light beer?
Compare the good taste of Micheloe Light, not just to other light beers, but to your regular beer.
Another surprise. How about my own column?
How about no?
Good taste runs in the family.
Yeah.
We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh.
Thursday with the 21st Annual Grammy Awards. John Denver is your host with a spectacular 2-hour live presentation. Cast an eye and lend an ear to the music world's most exciting night of the year, the 21st Annual Grammy Awards. Thursday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Because we fly the world every day, we've learned what the world wants from an airline. They want attention, and they want to be left alone. They want a tradition of experience and a lot of young ideas. Pan Am.
We fly the world the way the world wants to fly.
My daddy, he loves Southern Fried Chicken. And his daddy loves Southern Fried Chicken. Me, I love Northern Fried Chicken from Weaver. They cook it up north from tender, juicy chicken that's seasoned from a secret family recipe. Then they quick freeze all that great taste inside. Weaver Northern Fried Chicken. His own chicken my family eats. Forgive me, Daddy. Luther, pass me another drumstick.
Come on up to Northern Fried Chicken from Weaver.
Leslie Uggams Monday night.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Leslie Howard.
When I got my own place, my folks were sure I'd never have a good meal again. Well, why worry? I just got myself some Stauffers. They make so many good things. Chicken Divian, beef stew, green pepper steak with rice, and lots more. Some ready in just 15 minutes, which is great when you're in a hurry. So if you're on your own, get yourself some Stauffers and tell your folks not to worry.
Oh, the things people do to decide between two TV shows they want to watch. Well, now you don't have to decide anymore, because with Sony's Betamax video recorder, you can actually watch a show on one channel while you're videotaping a show on another channel. That way you get to see both of them, so you don't have to worry about dreaming up new ways of deciding.
Okay, first one to the TV set chooses.
It's nice having friends you can depend on, like genuine Bell.
I chose Bell because they make them like they used to.
If you want a phone that's genuinely you, be choosy and get one that's genuine Bell. Because when you get right down to it, this isn't the phone. This is.
I'm Jane Dixon, and if you're an Aries, why not consider the stowaway? A Libra, the sculptor. Scorpio, we have the trim line. Sagittarius.
Be choosy, get genuine Bell.
One day each summer, practically every town in America celebrates its heritage in a uniquely American way. The 4th of July parade, but without insurance to protect the people who make everything from uniforms and instruments to flags and francs. The 4th of July might look like any other summer day. Crum Forster, working with more than 9,000 independent insurance agents and brokers, helping insure the American way of life.
We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh.
Wednesday, Hawkeye saves the enemy.
You took a yellow red before a white American, which is pretty pinko.
And everyone's out to nail him on MASH. Next.
How do you do?
Cupid's arrow hits Schneider hard on One Day at a Time at a special time. Then join Dolly and Carol in Nashville. Watch for it all Wednesday, Valentine's Day at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
American Airlines introduces its new companion fare for February 13th through March 31st. Any adult who pays a regular day coach or night coach fare can take somebody along for half the day coach fare. And each of them can take along 2 children under 12 absolutely free. I'll pay coach fare.
And I'll pay half.
4 kids can fly free. It's true. Don't laugh.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
That's life. That's what people say.
Step into the Sanya world of high fidelity. Real audio components together in a matched stereo system. A sound that's really sensational. Plenty of power plus exciting features like Dolby. It's fabulous.
The music, that's life. Sanya.
Frat House Fever tomorrow.
Polaroid's One Step is the world's simplest camera. Even a woman can use it.
How'd that go again?
I thought that would get her attention.
I can have 1,000 women here in half an hour.
You never focus, you just point it and press the button. Hey.
All marching with big signs.
The sharp, clear color develops in minutes. You're beautiful when you're angry.
You had a nice career there for a while.
Get the One Step. This may be my final appeal.
What did you do to Bert while we were on vacation? Look, he's not eating his dry food.
He may never go back to dry.
What else is there?
New Purina, moist and chunky.
Purina, moist and chunky?
Unlike dry, moist and chunky dog food has moist, meaty-tasting chunks dogs love. You can even slice it.
Bert, you're sure you won't go back to dry?
Nutritious Purina dog chow, moist and chunky. One try and your dog may never go back to dry.
Now you've got it. A cold. Maybe the flu. You want something strong yet safe for your aching muscles, aching bones, aching head.
miseries the leading cold capsule can't help, but Anacin can. Look, all of these relieve those aches safely, used as directed. All but one are regular strength. Only Anacin combines that safety with extra strength.
Have a good day.
Sure will.
Anacin, safety with extra strength for aches of colds and flu.
I love this town, but whenever I can, I go far, far away and fall in love. I go to Spain or Tahiti or Brazil with one of these, Harlequin Romances. They're exciting, beautifully written love stories about people like me who just want to know more about the world. Harlequin Romances, they send my imagination flying.
You belong in the world of Harlequin. 12 new novels every month. Read one and discover our world. It's a beautiful place to be.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Olivia de Havilland.
Excuse me, why do you think the Volkswagen Rabbit is the best-selling car in Switzerland?
Well, you can see how well it drives. The Rabbit climbs the Alps something wunderbar, better even than a goat.
Anything else?
Yeah. It holds the whole family and the whole picnic because inside it's very, very big.
Oh, what's the biggest thing about it?
Fritz.
Volkswagen does it again.
Want a little spice in your life? Well, I got it with Lipton's flavored teas. With orange and spice, I feel I'm in a tropical paradise. Lipton's mint flavor really refreshes me. Lemon and spice cheers me up. Lipton cinnamon makes me feel slightly devilish. And Lipton black rum flavor whisks me down to the islands. Try 'em hot or iced.
Spice up your life with Lipton flavored teas in tea bags.
What have you done to my car?
Well, I would...
Now it'll never be right again.
Allstate guarantees it will.
Guarantees?
When you choose one of our recommended shops, we'll give you our car repair guarantee, and we'll give it to you in writing.
We guarantee the work will meet industry standards for as long as you own your car.
It looks fixed, but how do we know it's fixed right?
I've got it in writing.
Good.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the Good Hands people.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places. Meet our people-pleasing faces.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with people-pleasing standards.
Everything's perfect.
And the most popular locations at resorts throughout the world, right where you can do the things you want to do.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable.
Thursday with the 21st Annual Grammy Awards. John Denver is your host with a spectacular 2-hour live presentation. Cast an eye and lend an ear to the record and music world's most exciting night of the year. You'll be among the very first to know who the big winners will be. It's 2 hours of superstars and super music. The 21st Annual Grammy Awards with host John Denver. Thursday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
There's only one Broadway. It's in New York.
I love New York. I love New York. I love New York.
Introducing I Love New York Broadway show tours. 23 specially priced packages of shows and hotels. For a free booklet, see your travel agent or call toll-free 800-331-1000.
I love New York, especially in the evening.
Superman joins Mike Monday.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh. This portion sponsored by the DuPont Company. You and DuPont, there's a lot of good chemistry between us.
You and DuPont.
What does a chemical company have to do with us?
That's your drinking water over there.
It is?
But before you drink it, DuPont helps purify it with a chemical.
What chemical?
A chemical called ferric chloride, made by DuPont.
Is the chemical still in it?
No.
Then where did it go?
Here's how it works. When water has polluting particles like these, ferric chloride is added. It gathers these pollutants together and most of them settle to the bottom. Then they are easily removed from the water.
So the water we drink is free from both ferric chloride and these pollutants?
That's right. Several cities are now using DuPont's ferric chloride for treatment of their drinking water.
Well, that ferric chloride's a pretty useful chemical.
We think so.
Well, I'd drink to that.
Me too.
You and DuPont. There's a lot of good chemistry between us.
It's your way of looking good.
I sell Avon.
It's your way of feeling like you should.
And I want you to look terrific.
Part of your spirit, right for your style. So good you can feel it, it shows in your smile. It's your way of looking good. 1-to-1 feeling like you should. It's your way, Avon. And you never look so good.
What a surprise! Can I get you a beer?
Micheloe Light.
Micheloe has a light beer? It's worth trying.
It's Micheloe Light. There is no doubt this is what light beer is all about.
Compare the good taste of Micheloe Light, not just to other light beers, but to your regular beer.
2 surprises in one day.
My pleasure.
Good taste runs in the family.
Yeah.
We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Olivia de Havilland. An innocent man is suddenly caught in a nightmare he cannot understand and may not survive. A devastating thriller starring Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier in a television premiere. Marathon Man. He's running for his life. The CBS Sunday Movie Special at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Good evening from CBS News. This is Newsbreak. Gunfire and explosions rocked the capital of Iran this evening as the political stalemate there apparently has been broken. There are persistent reports that Prime Minister Bakhtiar has resigned. 7,000 Americans are still in Iran, but the Pentagon has prepared plans to get them out with the help of U.S. troops if necessary. If Senator Henry Jackson, the head of the Senate Energy Committee, is correct, there will soon be long lines and higher prices at the gasoline pumps. The Department of Health, Education, and Welfare claims that enough runaway fathers have been tracked down to save the government more than $1 billion in child support payments.
You are seeing something rare. It's the one major medicine that helps clear even flu's congestion up to 12 hours per dose. Yes, it's Contact.
I'm Morton Dean, CBS News. More news later on the CBS Sunday Night News on most of these stations.
This is CBS.
On weekends, Malcolm lives for the Jets, the Nets, the Knicks, the Mets. On Mondays, Malcolm lives for Sports Monday and the New York Times. Good thing I'm not the jealous type.
Read Sports Monday every Monday in the new New York Times. No one covers the world of sports like the newspaper that covers the world.
My boss just heard Cutlass Supreme gets better mileage than Toyota Celica.
The Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme is surprising a lot of people these days.
Cutlass Supreme costs less than VW Dasher?
Fortunately for most people, the Cutlass Supreme is a pleasant surprise. Test drive one now at your Good Olds guys.
Terrific! See your good olds guy. Get behind the wheel of an Oldsmobile.
Leslie Uggams Monday night.
We now return to Gone with the Wind. We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Leslie Howard.
This is the new Sonar one-step camera from Polaroid. It sends out inaudible sound waves that bounce off the subject and return in a split second. The lens automatically rotates to precise focus, like this. And this.
I caught a fish! Look at all the cords!
If I had to focus, I would have missed that picture. Sharp, instant pictures in minutes. This close, this far, this quick. Polaroid's new one-step's the world's simplest cameras.
Took Beethoven 4 years to write that symphony. Some things can't be rushed. Good music and good wine. Paul Masson's Emerald Rye. A delicious white wine. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What Paul Masson himself said nearly a century ago is still true today. We will sell no wine before it's time.
Owens-corning built this glass house so you can see all the places insulation can save money, new home or old. Your attic. In severe climates, you may need insulating power up to R38, a foot of pink Owens-corning fiberglass. Another place to insulate. Floors over unheated garages or crawl spaces, and walls exposed to cold or heat.
Put your house in the pink. Get Owens-corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
When your big day is here, New York Life got a reason to cheer. New York Life need money for school. New York Life makes retirement cool. New York Life, New York Life, for all of your life. New York Life can show you the way. New York Life protects tomorrow today. For all of your life, New York Life.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Leslie Howard.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You and DuPont.
What's a chemical company have to do with me?
Did you know your wedding wouldn't be as white and bright without titanium dioxide?
Titanium dioxide? What's that?
It's a chemical DuPont makes that's essential to making things around us white and bright.
You mean there's some in my wedding gown?
Sure, in most synthetics, and in the paint on your walls, and on your car. The crisp white wedding invitations, the bright colors of many gifts you've received, even your carpeting.
And DuPont makes all that.
DuPont is one of the companies that makes the titanium dioxide that's in all those things.
But I never even heard of it before.
Most people haven't. But without titanium dioxide, your life would be a lot less white and bright.
Who can imagine a wedding without white?
Or a bride that wasn't beautiful. You and DuPont. There's a lot of good chemistry between us.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
Oh, I've tried them here, I've tried them there, I've tried them where they make them square. But there's nothing like the one and only Whopper. Oh, we've tried them fancy, tried them fried, we were never satisfied. Oh, there's nothing like the one and only Whopper. The one and only Whopper, flame broiled through and through. Crisp lettuce, onions, mayonnaise, fresh tomatoes too. It's not the only Whopper, the one and only Whopper. Burger King and I.
We will return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable.
Wednesday, Hawkeye saves the enemy.
You took a yellow red before a white American, which is pretty pinko.
And everyone's out to nail him on MASH. Next...
How do you do?
Cupid's arrow hits Schneider hard on One Day at a Time at a special time. Then join Dolly and Carol in Nashville. Watch for it all Wednesday, Valentine's Day at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
I remember carrying dresses here on 7th Avenue for my Uncle Bernie. The pace still runs from fast to frantic. And you know, Emigrant Savings Bank thinks New Yorkers who work this hard deserve a solid retirement plan. That's why Emigrant has plans that pay high interest, all tax deferred. Look, you work hard for your money, New York.
And at Emigrant, we work hard for it too.
Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds.
They say it, we do it. Emery Express, the small package service that delivers before the 11th hour.
Frat House Fever tomorrow.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Vivian Leigh. This portion sponsored by new All-Temperature Cheer. Actually reduces wrinkles while it cleans in all 3 temperatures. All-Tempa Cheer.
Have you heard? All-Temperature Cheer's been improved.
What?
Uh-huh. All-Temperature Cheer has a new patented formula.
What's wrong with my old one? It cleaned in hot, warm, and cold.
You'll like New Cheer even better. Now it actually reduces wrinkling.
New Cheer reduces wrinkling?
We use the old Cheer formula on the left, New Cheer on the right.
The right's less wrinkled.
Now, Cheer won't get rid of wrinkles completely, but...
Yeah, but it'll save me ironing.
Yep.
And Cheer still cleans in all temperatures?
Yep. Even the clothes you don't iron will look good. So you're still mad Cheer was improved?
Nah, there's only 2 things I hate worse than ironing, wrinkles and gray hair.
New All-Temperature Cheer actually reduces wrinkling while you wash. New All-Tempa Cheer.
The water in Frankfort, Indiana has fluoride to help protect children's teeth, but that's not enough. I'm Myrna Walker. As a child, I was in a special Crest test in Frankfort. It proved Crest fluoride gives extra cavity-fighting protection wherever the water is fluoridated. Today, my whole family uses Crest, and we have great checkups.
The fluoridated water test showed Crest gives extra cavity-fighting protection wherever the water is fluoridated.
Nobody's come up with anything better than Crest. We're staying with it.
You can count on Crest for a future of good checkups. Tests prove it. Crest is accepted by the American Dental Association.
Your family loves barbecued ribs, right? But you hate the greasy dishes you get. Then try new improved Dawn dishwashing liquid. It cuts tough grease better than ever and takes grease out of your way.
Watch. Half a cup of grease added to dishwater. Dawn breaks up grease, surrounds it. Dawn takes grease out of your way, helps keep it from settling back on your dishes.
Dawn helps keep grease away from my pans, my hands. Dawn's just terrific.
New improved Dawn takes grease out of your way.
We now return to Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh.
Remember this, a Rhine wine by any other name is not the same. Next time you wonder what white wine to drink, think of Gallo Rhine.
Just this part of my head and the back hurts.
Mrs. Kazel has a headache and a problem swallowing tablets.
Feels like a big lump that's stuck there.
So we're giving her new extra-strength Tylenol Adult Liquid.
Oh, hey.
Because it's a liquid, it's easier to swallow than ordinary tablets.
Well, my headache is completely gone.
What about the swallowing? What was the difference?
It went down very easy. think the liquid is just a tremendous idea.
Extra strength Tylenol adult liquid. Easier to swallow. And you can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
Do you know that all leading roll-ons are mostly water? About 2/3 water. That's why they're wet and sticky and may make you wait to get dressed. But now there's Dry Idea antiperspirant, the new roll-on that isn't wet or sticky because it contains almost no water. It goes on dry, so you can get dressed right away. And nothing will keep you drier than Dry Idea. New Dry Idea. It doesn't make you wet, so it doesn't make you wait.
And now some scenes from tomorrow night's conclusion of Gone with the Wind.
Have you no interest in what's become of your own husband, Mrs. Kennedy?
Tomorrow night,
She killed her husband, same as if she shot him.
in the aftermath of war, Scarlett's life is threatened.
When you get used to being safe and warm, you'll stop dreaming that dream. And Scarlett, I'm going to see that you are safe.
But her love for Ashley heads towards its day of reckoning with Rhett Butler.
Observe my hands, my dear. I could tear you to pieces with them.
You're not going to cheat Miss Mellie out of the satisfaction of publicly ordering you out of her house.
Tomorrow night, the splendor, the passion, the climax. Leslie Howard as Ashley Wilkes, Olivia de Havilland as Melanie, Clark Gable as Rhett Butler, and Vivian Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara. The conclusion of Gone with the Wind. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central.
This is Bruce Jenner reminding you to support your local United Way. When you give the United Way, you're always a winner.
The 21st Annual Grammy Awards with host John Denver. Cast an eye and lend an ear to the music world's most exciting night of the year. Thursday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS. From Channel 2 News, News Watch with correspondent Carol Martin.
Good evening. A man and a 14-year-old boy have been arrested in last month's arson fire in a Jersey City tenement that killed 7. A 4-year-old who reportedly wanted to fly like Superman has died, and local TV personality Panchita Pierce now admits she is the woman who called 911 to report Nelson Rockefeller's fatal heart attack.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where's Bob? I thought he was with you.
No,
you're kidding.
He's not down yet.
Hey, what, do you think something happened?
Let's start looking.
Hey! I'm on a Lowenbrow! Bob!
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Hey, you know, for a minute there, you really had us worried. I know. Thanks. Lowenbrow.
From Channel 2 News, this has been News Watch. More news at 11:15.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. Is that how you greet the new VP of Marketing?
VP of Vice President? Peggy.
Peggy, it's time. Time for the Chase Advantage. Time for a knowledgeable world-class bank to help you manage your increased income.
In your bracket, I'd recommend...
With Chase Advantages like 6 different savings plans, plus the professional expertise to help you choose the one that's right for you.
Then he said, in your bracket, I'd recommend...
It's time to put the Chase Advantage to work for you.
My man's made up his mind. Now he smokes Tipperillo and doesn't inhale. And he gets full tobacco flavor. Tipperillo. It's a good tip.
Superman with Mike, Monday at 4.
The word in Spanish is patrimonio. It means national treasure, national wealth, those things in the country that belong to everyone. Part of Mexico's ancient patrimonio, its traditional national wealth, are the great Indian ruins from the civilizations that flourished here 1,000 years ago and more. Just a few miles away, the new national wealth, oil. Enough oil, Mexicans are fervently convinced, to finally end a century and a half of having to play poor nephew to the rich uncle north of the border.
And here we are, on board the good ship Dandahelu, bound from Mali to Furadu. We were told the trip would take 6 hours. We are rapidly approaching day 3. We don't know what to expect. Will the people be friendly? After all, we're only the second outsiders they've ever seen. And then appears something out of a Joseph Conrad fantasy.
He can survive a fall of over 5 stories, nor through glass, lead pipes, or concrete. Go through a hole the size of a quarter. And forget the saying, dead as a drowned rat, because they can swim half a mile and tread water for 3 days. Now, adding to the frustration is the discovery of super rats. Rats that have become immune to the #1 rat poison used today. Some of them eat it and survive.
Are rats going to inherit the earth?
If we let them.
I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Dan Rather. Those stories and more tonight on 60 Minutes.
Ford technology creates the all-new Ford LTD, a new American road car designed for today's driving. The all-new Ford LTD offers more passenger room than any LTD ever. Yet this LTD is sized for today, with even easier handling and parking than last year, and a higher mileage rating. Discover a remarkable new LTD driving experience. The luxurious all-new Ford LTD, a new American road car at your Ford dealer.
Zenith presents a breakthrough, System 3. System 3. The best Zenith ever. The best ever. An advanced picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. A totally modular chassis. All modular. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. The most reliable. Zenith System 3. Zenith System 3. It's the best Zenith ever.
It's 3 o'clock, and this man has 25 phone calls to return. So does this man. This man has a touch-o-matic telephone from his Bell Telephone Company. This man doesn't. This man can return each call with the touch of a button. This man can't. This man is going to have dinner at his usual spot. So is this man.
Chili dog, coffee light.
Touch-o-matic telephone, one of the many ways Western Electric phone systems can save you time and money, only at your Bell Telephone Company.
Let's say you're in business. To climb to new levels of success, you need an experienced business insurance partner. At Employers of Wausau, we know how to cope with virtually any business insurance risk. If you're willing to work with us to control losses and costs, we're willing to help you get to the top. For business insurance, come to the source, Employers Insurance of Wausau.
I hope you'll bear with me this week. I have what a lot of people have had this winter, a gravelly throat, but we're going to try it anyway, and here goes. Last week, Secretary of Energy James Schlesinger gave us some bad news. Expect shortages of gasoline and home heating oil and higher prices. The trouble in Iran has caused, as they say in Washington, a 5% shortfall in our oil imports. The solution? Well, it might be just south of the border, and a new word may soon enter the world of international diplomacy and international finance. The word, petropesos. Mexico, you see, has oil, and buyers for it are lined up with fistfuls of pesos and dollars and yen and francs. Mexico could sell all the oil it can produce if it wanted to. The catch is that Mexico may not want to produce all the oil the U.S. wants to buy. President Carter goes to Mexico Thursday to discuss oil with President Lopez Portillo. It used to be that every few years the American president would go to some border city like El Paso or San Diego, shake hands with the Mexican president, exchange toasts, and then we'd all forget about our good neighbors till the next handshake. Well, amigos, times have changed.
There is a word in Mexico that keeps cropping up in conversation with government officials, with Mexicans from all walks of life. The word in Spanish is patrimonio. It means national treasure, national wealth, those things in the country that belong to everyone. Part of Mexico's ancient patrimonio, its traditional national wealth, are the great Indian ruins from the civilizations that flourished here 1,000 years ago and more. Just a few miles away, the new national wealth, oil. Enough oil, Mexicans are fervently convinced, to finally end a century and a half of having to play poor nephew to the rich uncle north of the border. What the Mexicans say they have is oil and natural gas in amounts undreamed of just a few years ago. A huge reservoir of natural gas in the northern part of Mexico, along the United States border. Further south, a new find called Chicantepec. 100 billion barrels of oil, that's billion in the ground. Pemex, the state-owned oil monopoly, plans to drill 16,000 wells here in the next 10 years. They think they can recover about 15% of the oil with current technology, all of it someday. In the Gulf of Campeche, an offshore oil field so rich that 8 of 10 wells drilled have come up winners, and they say they've just barely started looking. And in the nearby states of Tabasco and Chiapas, a field that is right now producing 1 million barrels of oil a day, where more than half the wells they've drilled have struck oil. In short, the Mexicans say they are floating on a sea of gas and oil. And their geologists say they believe that nearly 80% of Mexico has the potential to produce some kind of usable energy. What the Mexicans believe has happened here on their southeast coast is one of the great oil finds of all time, right up there with the legendary Texas Spindletop, Saudi Arabia, and the North Sea. This Mexican oil strike, the Black Gold Rush of 1979, is, for example, bigger than the one on Alaska's North Slope. The Mexicans claim, and there's a lot of evidence to back it up, that figuratively and almost literally, just about every other time they shove a stick in the ground here, they hit a gusher. In less than 3 years, the proven reserves of natural gas and crude oil in Mexico have doubled and doubled again to 40 billion barrels in the ground and recoverable. And the probable reserves have grown to another 44 billion barrels. On top of that, the potential reserves are listed as a staggering 200 billion. And most people here, at least, think that last figure may turn out to be actual. Mexico now ranks number 6 in the world in oil reserves, behind Russia, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, and the U.S. A recent U.S. intelligence report says that by the middle of the 1980s, Mexico could, if it wanted to, produce nearly as much oil each day as Iran did before the recent trouble there. In the Gulf of Campeche, for instance, the 8 hits out of 10 tries could be just a start. More than 50 other drilling sites have been identified, and by the time those are explored, there may be 50 more. And they're all in 1/3 the water depth of similar offshore fields in the North Sea. The signs of oil boom are everywhere.